In Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Yes, good afternoon. Brand new week here in Georgetown. It's a little hot out there. It's October the 12th, 2020. And as we speak right now, Guyana is getting ready to open its airport, well, somewhat in a very restrictive mode. And this would have come months after we closed our airports and our borders for the pandemic to protect ourselves. As we go here today, we have 104 deaths recorded since March. And the numbers are climbing, but we've taken the chance to reopen the airport, and it's going to be very restrictive in the way that you could travel. You just can't just pick up yourself and then jump on a plane and say that you're going to come or you're going to go. There are going to be restrictions with regards to tests that you're taking, and it has to be controlled. And so we're going to talk a little bit that as we speak right now. We would have seen more charges being leveled against Chief Elections Officer Kaieteur today. He was told to turn up at the CID headquarters where he was detained and then taken over to the magistrate court for public office crimes that he would have been serving in as the chief elections officer. Tomorrow, the chairperson of the People's National Congress Reform and former Minister of Health, Waldo Lawrence, is supposed to be turning up at the CID headquarters in Gildarie there, where she is to be questioned, and maybe there's going to be charges. Today, a number of persons turned up at the Gildarie headquarters there, and they were saying, they were protesting kind of in front of the Gildarie there. So we are going to be bringing you this and other details as we go forward. Many things to talk about today, including the business of some minister, and of course, a new editor-in-chief at Kaieteur News here. Well, we're not sure. Is that news? Let's talk about that in a little while, because a lot of people are calling, and it did create some laughter, because it just goes to underscore how much of a sometimes you could be very gullible. You need to pay attention, read between the lines, see what's happening, somebody poking fun at you. So it is October the 12th, 2020, and this is the Wake Up Guyana show. We're going to wake you up today. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and you're tuned in to Kaieteur Radio 99.1, where you could get us in Essequibo and Demerara, and 99.5 if you're up in Berbice. I want to say good day to the folks down in Berbice there, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing. I want to say good day from the family down at Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News. The biggest radio, the biggest newspaper in this beautiful land of ours. And we bring it to you as it is. There's no icing on the cake when it comes to presenting the news to the people of Guyana or wherever you are around the world. So I want to say good day also to the people overseas who will be joining us. It's always a pleasure tuning in, listening to you wherever you are as we discuss things, bring things out to the fore. Discuss issues, because that's what the show is all about. Wake Up Guyana. It's about your views. It is about your complaints. It's about what you see, what you think. And we are going to be having 2 hours of that as we go on to 3 o'clock today to bring you the happenings in Guyana. And you're coming from no other than our studio here on Saffron Street, Charlestown, where everybody, including Josh and Raj, here manage the controls here, trying to make sure that things go smoothly as possible. Before we get into the news, let me tell you what are some of the big things that are dominating the headlines today, according to the headlines of the Kaieteur newspaper here. We're going to start with Sunday's newspaper right away. Local content provisions for Payara. This is October 11th. And you can remember this month is October the 10th, 2020. So it's 10-10-2020. It looks like a 10-20 kind of thing happening here in Guyana. So this is October the 11th newspaper, the Sunday's edition. Local content provisions for Payara license flout petroleum laws. The PPP government has done exactly what Trotman did with the Liza Phase 1. This is Christopher Ram. He's been always critical, talking about this and other content issues that we would have in Guyana here. So when you read that article, don't miss it. You should get yourself informed, get yourself educated as to what are some of the things that you can do You don't have to be on the roads protesting, but you could raise your voice, you could lend your voice into not only letters to the editor, but you could take to social media and just simply demand that you get a better deal. Kaieteur oil block awarded filled with red flags. Let me go back that over and over again. Kaieteur oil Kanji oil block award filled with red flags. Despite Guyana gets nothing from the billions of dollars from the oil block, is worth taxpayers owed $100 million pre-contract costs to owners, and so we got very little from this oil block, but they handed us $100 million right there. You know what's $100 million? You know what tablets I could buy for the people of Guyana? For $100,000, I could get about 6 tablets that could be given to our people. They handed us. We give them almost next to nothing, and they handed us a bill right away. $100 million. We're not sure what they did. And if you look at the story here, former director Nicholas Chakasang, former director Yuli Nelson, director and sole shareholder Idris Kamal Duki, all players within this Kanji oil block. And there are questions because when you look at the Kanji and the Kaieteur block, it's almost what the Stabrook has. So you're talking billions and billions of dollars that we got very little or nothing for. And you look at also at the bottom of the page how Senegal lost billions of dollars in oil fields, in gas fields here rather. Senegal government was aware of the obvious corruption red flags but chose to ignore them. Export says. Man confesses to rape and murder. Venezuelan cook admits to also raping and killing. So we have a serial rapist murderer here that was caught. And he was working. He murdered a woman down in Bartica, or from Bartica there. She disappeared. They found her floating in a mining pit. Then months later, he was working at another camp, killed the cook, and he's alleged, or he's been accused of raping her as well. Raping, strangling, beating. And her body was discovered. So he was arrested. He did admit to these crimes, to that one there, and then to this other one from Bartica, which was a couple months old. He disappeared. He did admit because both cases had a lot of similarities, and so he was questioned, and he did admit with regards to that. So we go to the Kaieteur newspaper of today, October 12, 2020. Minister Darmlal halts process to hire company founded by his son. This was a case in which it came out that there was a contract that was being awarded, I think about $80,000. I don't understand this at all, for the printing of some photographs, ministerial photographs. And it went to a company that was said to be linked to his son. But the minister came out with a statement very quickly yesterday and says it was a very wicked article that emanated from a opposition member of parliament, Ganesh Mahi Paul. They are looking at to see how there's some legal recourse, but the minister says that he halted the transaction. And in any case, there was another story that came out then. The permanent secretary would have been sent home on Friday. Emil Magarel, he was a former minister of Housing, permanent secretary leading up to 2015, went over to the Ministry of Communities. The Ministry of Communities under the coalition would have also been dealing with housing. So he has now been let loose. Was there a connection? We don't know. There seems to be a suggestion there that the leaking of this document. In any case, the minister says his son has nothing to do with that company there, meaning in terms of that he's not an official within the company, he's not a director, he's not anything with regards to a decision maker. Kanji block owner sold shares 6 weeks after receiving blocks. And this would mirror a story that you see in Senegal. Quick buying and selling of offshore concessions, a major red flag, should be a wake-up call for all nations. So we're paying attention to some parallel transactions in Guyana and then abroad with regards to oil blocks and how the stories abroad could be mirrored, or it's mirroring what is happening in Guyana. And we warning, I think the newspaper here is warning based on the exports, be very careful as to how you go about it. It's not too late, you still have it within control. Let's put down, let the authorities pay attention. That's what the newspaper is saying here, and the headlines are reflecting that. Notorious wanted man shot after found hiding on the bed. And this was a man called him Boxton, and he was part of the Boxton gang. and they found him in the All Boys Town area there. He's wanted for a set of crimes, including robberies and so on. Police received information and they went and found him under the bed, and they arrested him. And while he was being arrested, being taken into custody, tried to grab a policeman's gun, and he was shot, and he was arrested. He went to the police station. He's lucky. Applications pouring in for the telecom sector, and this is coming from Vice President by Jagdeo, and it's no surprise here if you understand that there are many. It's a very lucrative sector. It was a sector that was largely abandoned, or very little attention, scant regard was paid to new technology being developed, or the level of service being lifted by the big company that's here, a U.S.-owned Guyana telephone and telegraph company, GT&T. So some other companies now, including eNetworks and Digicel, which has the competition right now to GT&T in the mobile market, they've already made it very clear that they are going to compete very heavily in the telecom sector. You would see Digicel wants to get into the landline, but definitely they're landing a subsea cable here, which brings faster internet. So Guyana is really good, looking good with regards to competition. As to whether prices will go down and how far it will go down, let us see. But it's in the beginning, it's going to take. It is not something that's going to happen overnight. But I'm glad that we are in a process in which these things are moving forward. I was all over. It was on Berbice this weekend. I came down back, and it's busyness all over the place. The president, and we're going to talk a little about that in a very short while, did talk about how President Finale has his people going at it, and he too is leading. I'm going to tell you what he did up in Berbice, and it's good because we want to see our government not sitting on their hands, but getting the work done right in Guyana here, because there are many things to do. People are calling, people are asking, and we're going to talk about the $25,000 in a very short while, what is happening with that, because we have to pay attention. People want to know. So while we talk about the telecom sector, Mother 26 dies after bike smashes into quarantine steel rail. This is, I think it's Sewell on the quarantine coast. Apparently she left home. She was about to get married or something in a couple of months to her go-to boyfriend in Trinidad, or fiance. And she went on a bike ride, and this bike lost control, and they ran into a steel rail, and she was badly damaged. She died on spot. The person riding the bike got some damage, to some injuries, ended up in the hospital. And while we're talking about that, we've seen many accidents on the road. Motorcycle, there seems to be an increase in the motorcycle. You guys be very careful out there. It's very easy when you ride a motorcycle. Very little protection if you get hit or you fall on the road. You have to wear your helmet. But then what makes it worse? If you speed in, you're going to find it very difficult to control. You're going to fall, and the injuries from that fall is what gives you the thing. If you're going to be hit into something, it's going to make it even worse yet. So we did see some well-known gentleman there, I think some feed cow or something, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, would have fallen from his bike in the Diamond Hospital. Very well-known man around the place. He died yesterday, tragic again, and then up the East Coast, you would have seen a car and a motorcycle smash up there that left two people in the hospital. They died also. So I'm not sure what is happening in our roadways. You guys got to be very careful. Too much of madness is happening. Undertaking, overtaking, switching lanes at will. We got to be very careful. You guys are not serious. You guys don't want to do it. And the minibuses, you need to get yourself in order. You need to get your act together. You're doing madness on the road, and you're not protecting yourself. For what we're doing with regards to protecting ourselves, the minibus people, the passengers and everybody, you have to demand that you protect yourself, that they do what is necessary, that the drivers and the conductor, that you demand, you're in control, not them. When you see them doing anything, take out your video, start videoing them, start doing things to protect yourself. Don't be stupid, don't be dead, be alive. And so don't allow the tail to wag the dog. You have to wag the tail, not the tail wagging the dog. So more charges to Lowenfield today with regards to his alleged role in the attempt to rig the election, the attempt to change the course of the election results. Companies now, we will talk about the Telecoms company. More companies are vying. They've been a slew of applications, according to Vice President Jagdeo. We're talking about, in a very short while, we are going to be talking to the Ethnic Relations Commission. So I'm going to ask Raj also to 1 second. My apologies there. Just talking to Raj. Sometimes Raj interrupts me halfway through and tell me to do this, do that. Are you the boss, Raj? You the boss? He's not a boss. You got to be the boss. You got to learn to be the boss sometimes. So, in a very short while, we're going to be talking to the Ethnic Relations Commission official there. They're going to be talking because they have stepped it. They've stepped it up in with regards to bringing awareness to what we have. There's a big issue going on right now with ethnic relations in Guyana, and so they're trying to step it up to do a little more awareness, and we're going to be talking to them what it is that they're doing in a very short while. We're going to be talking to the public relations officer, Shiv Nanlal. So in a very short while, we are going to be linking up to him. Today, we're talking about the opening of the airport. So let's see what happens here. What is it exactly that you need to do? The Barbies Bridge. Well, let's talk a little about that. There is going to be a bridge across the Contine River, which is going to link Guyana. So in essence, what you're going to be seeing here in a very short while is a bridge that's already across linking Guyana to Brazil. That's a Kaieteur bridge. What you're going to see here is it is a plan, and it looks as if we're moving very rapidly in that direction. It is the plan to put a bridge across the Contine River, which is going to link Suriname to Guyana. And there's been a talks for a little while. We already have a ferry that was running there. The pandemic has put a halt to that operation because we need to protect our borders. Nothing going, nothing coming. But it is the plan to put a bridge across the Contine River to link Suriname. They would have located a number of areas. One area, in fact, they planted some flags of the two countries. In a very short while, within a matter of weeks, Guyana is going to go to Suriname. And this is our government is going to go there, representatives, officials, and they're going to be signing that agreement, which is going to pave the way for a bridge across the Contine River. So that's big news because, every time that you have transportation linkages, meaning if you have new road networks, bridges, and so on, it improves access to places which were not before time. If you're looking to cross into Brazil before the pandemic, it was as easy as 1, 2, 3. You just have your passport ready, and there's some fees and things like that, and you just get across there very quickly, over to Brazil, come back, and there's a free zone area in Letem, so you could bring your stuff and you could be able to sell it, and there were thousands of people, Brazilians, coming across and shop in Letem until this pandemic has hit. So it is going to open this country. I'm excited about this bridge across the Contine River here. And so in a very short while, we are going to be talking to you about it's Mayor Yubraj Narayan's birthday today. I want to say a happy birthday to you, Mayor Yubraj Narayan. Wherever you are, I hope that you are enjoying it. And this morning, we understand that the Karen Van Slykeman, and she is the former PS of the Ministry of Trade, Industry, and Commerce and Tourism, I think it's also there. And she went there. She was one of them that were removed. She turned up there to collect her belongings, she says, and she found that the locks changed. I'm not sure why she didn't collect it over the weekend or so, but she turned up there and the police had to be there. So let's see what happens. This morning, I think also I woke up to the news that there were some pranks that were coming from my co-workers at Kaieteur News here. And guess what they did? We have some very wicked people. Leonard is a wicked man. He does a lot of things. He does a lot of pranks on the staff. His face is as straight as anything. And he does things you would not believe what that man does to his staffers. In any case, the staffer decided to do something to the Guyanese critic. He came here, took a picture, put it on Facebook, and then the staffers decide that they're going to put it up there that he's the new editor-in-chief. Well, he's not. I must tell you that. He remains a very good friend, dear friend of Leonard Gildarie and of Kaieteur newspaper and the radio, but he has his own thing going. So he's not the editor-in-chief. The boss at the moment is Leonard. There's a number of editors, and that's about it. At the end of the day, so it was a good laugh the entire morning. Everybody called in and said, Gildarie, the critic, Michael Rodriguez, is your editor-in-chief, and, they wanted to know. I'm not sure whether you guys were worried or whether you were clapping your hands, whatever it is, but it was a big laugh, and I enjoyed myself. I always like a good laugh. What about you? So it is October the 12th. In a very short while, we are Somebody's asking, why is the Suriname border closed? Well, the border is closed because we have a pandemic right now in the air. You can't have it open, and we have had it closed since March. Since March month, it was one of the decisions taken by the then government, the coalition government, to restrict the people that are coming into this country or leaving. And you don't want to have a situation where you can't have control. Many countries would have taken those. Many persons would have taken those decisions, many countries, to close the borders, close the airports. We have started the process of reopening our airports, and let's have a quick discussion on that. So what is happening? If you're going to come into the country, you need to contact your operator, the flights operators, whether it's Caribbean Airlines or whoever it is. I understand Caribbean Airlines have let loose quite a number of its staffers because it was hard hit by the pandemic. Maybe it's going to start rehiring them. So I'm not sure how that's going to affect their flights. But Guyana is one of the most lucrative destinations and operating points for the Caribbean Airlines, which is a Trinidad-based airline. And it has been providing services to Canada, to New York. I understand it goes to Miami as well. But what it is, Caribbean Airlines is one of the big airlines that's been flying, has been around for a very long time. So we are going to be bringing you updates as we get it. So if you're going to come into the country or you're going to be leaving, I think the countries that you're coming from, or Guyana is going to be requiring that you do those tests. We don't want you coming in here just like that. You are going to be required to do those tests. So commercial flights are going to be allowed, but it's going to be very restrictive. You have to take those tests, and when you come here, you might be very well be obliged to test the temperature and whatever else it is that they may be doing some rapid testing to you if they believe that you could be suspected. And if you come here too, you will likely be required to stay at home, be isolated, be restricted for about a week or so. So it's all part of the reopening. So it is commercial flights being introduced back again. Let us see how that goes as we go forward with this country. So at 2 o'clock, we're going to be joined with the Ethnic Relations Commission. I want to say good day to the people right across this beautiful land of ours. It's a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo cover with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regenton, Narnock Street. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787. or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. Raj, it has been a very long weekend. What did you do for this weekend? Did you do anything? Did you cook? You cook what? Biryani? Chicken?
No, veg biryani and chicken curry.
Okay. You said something, I'm not sure. Vegetarian biryani? Is there vegetarian biryani?
Yeah.
Very good. He did that. So did you eat it or did you give somebody else? Did you?
Yeah, I did.
It's spicy. It's very spicy.
Spicy,
You would have to make something with probably lamb or mutton or something, and we're going to ask you to bring some of that. Maybe you could try it. And of course, we're going to tell the people whether your hand is good. In Guyana, you say if your hand tastes good, it doesn't mean that you're actually licking your hands or something. It means that you've cooked well. We have some strange things in Guyana going on. In India, do you dab the bottom house? Do you know what's that? Okay, you take like cow dung and you mix it with water and things like that and dirt in some places, and you get a mixture, and you could, instead of you having, back in those days, not a lot of people would have concrete, but under your house it's mud, so you put it there, it's like a covering, and it get cracked after a little while, so you have to do it ever so often you do it. So we have that in Guyana. We have our fireside. I'm not sure what you have over there, but the best food comes from the fireside. The best food. When grandmother cooked the food, or your mother or anybody cooked the food on the fireside, it is the best thing. It tastes really, really good. There's a different flavor because of the smoke and because of the wood and everything. It's the best. If you take a chicken curry from a fireside, it is the best thing. The country food. So there's a couple of things that you should know. But while I think in India also you have 2,000 different ways that you could cook dal. So I hope that you guys are remembering the good old days, the older folks that is who would have been joining us. So we are going to be going to the lines within a few minutes. 22675 is 7534 or 7453. Yeah, 7453. I'm not sure how I got that wrong. 2267453. 2267453. And you are tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. Let's have some fun today. We want to hear what's bothering you. In the meantime, it's Region 8, Region 9, Region 1. Those are the three regions that have started to collect those $25,000 cash grants that the government has been given. It's going to every household. So if 3 or 4 household is in one building, well, you are going to each one get, but you'd have to prove, of course, that you come from different family. You don't want to see a 17-year-old boy turn up or a 17-year-old girl and says, well, unless you get a baby in her hands. Well, I have my own family. I'm living with my mom. So, you got to be very careful. You don't want any other person to be coming in and be collecting. There is going to be some restriction. That's understandable. So let's don't have it, quarrel. They have to. You don't want this money to be stolen. We are going to be looking very carefully as to what are the procedures in the hinterlands. It's Region 1, Region 9, which is two bordering areas, and of course you have Region 8. The process would have started. I did see a story yesterday with 127 persons or 27 families benefited in the Region 8 area. Over the weekend on Saturday, there was busy time in the Berbice area for the police. That was because President Irfan Ali was in the Berbice area. He would have visited a number of areas, made some on-the-spot announcements about play fields that he's going to upgrade, but he did meet with people in Port Morant area. I understand he was in the Skeldon area. In the meantime, there was a ministerial team that would have led the Indian High Commissioner to Guyana on a tour on a number of estates. That's the performing ones and the ones that have been closed that are now being reopened. And Guyana is looking for India's expertise. They have a lot of technical persons that could probably come here and lend us some expertise in terms of running, managing, maybe giving us those expertise to what could we do in a very short space of time to bring those estates up and running back again, or maybe find some strategic investors. So there's a number of things that they're playing with. One of the things that the government, I seem to get the impression, is that the government don't want to hold on to this industry too long. That is going to be a draw, or it's going to be a pain for the Treasury. They want to see that it's being put under good management for a long time. In the meantime, Irfan Ali, as a president, would have come down from there. He's busy. He's sending his people all over the place. The ministers, I don't think they've been given a lot of time to do whatever it is that they've been doing. Relax a little. They've been hitting the road. And it's long hours, 16, 18 hours a day, I think, according to some of the ministers that have been working. And these are the kind of things that I like to see. Of course, they got to take some breaks once in a while because it's human being that you deal with. But the people have plenty of expectations. I think the president would have gone to Essequibo yesterday, and Saudi and other areas. He went on a trip. He went on visits to Wakenham and Legwan as well, I understand. And he would have been talking to the people. He says, give us a chance. We've now come in. We have already started delivering our promises in our manifesto, and we want you to give us a chance so we can be able to continue our work. We've given you within that emergency budget measures a lot of the stuff that we're supposed. It's not where we want to be, but it is a start. So just give us a chance. Allow us to do what we have to do. We're working very hard. We've started talking about the Demerara Harbour Bridge, which we have already highlighted the place. We've started talking about the Quarantine River Bridge. We come in next year, we give you some cash grants. So he's basically making his case within the first 2 months, just over 2 months now, since he would have gone into office. Has he been doing a good job? We'd like to hear from you. What has the president been doing? Has his team been doing a good job? So we have to assess them, We have to be very critical as a people, give credit where credit is due. And of course, criticisms, if they have to be criticized, you have to do that as well. I think they've done fairly. Of course, we can never be too happy as to everything that they have been doing in Guyana. So let's be very careful. And so we head to the lines, 2267453. Do we have a caller on line already? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon. Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Go right ahead.
Yes, Mr. Gildarie. I'm calling from Essequibo. I'm in Georgia right about now, but I'm calling concerning a problem in Essequibo.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Tell me what it is.
Well, right about now, we have a problem with this person. They have a chicken pen in front of
A
in the
what?
next street, a chicken pen.
Yes.
And this pen, they build it from fence to fence, they build it, and it's smelling up the whole people that live at the back.
All right. Which area is this?
Bushlot
Bushlot.
in Essequibo Coast.
Is there an NDC in that area there?
Well, the people at the back, we went to the NDC, we went to the health, the people of health and stuff, but still no resolution.
All right. This is what you need to do. You need to write a letter to the NDC, copy it to the RDC chairman, and send a copy of it. You have to do that. That's the only way you start doing it. Send a
Okay.
copy of it to the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Darmlal.
Okay then, thank you.
So you do that. You send a letter. This is how you need to start. And you take pictures. If you could take some pictures, maybe print it out, so they could be able to.
The people at the back, we already did that, but it seems that nothing is happening.
No, because the NDC got to be a little more thing. The NDCs are not don't understand the powers that they have. They need to start putting on the foot. All right.
All right then, thank
So
you.
you do that, and you keep me posted how that makes out.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear. So that's of course, I want to say good day to you wherever you are, whether you're in the kitchen garden, whether you're in the kitchen, whether you're in the bedroom, whether you're in the hammock rock, and whether you're cooking, to all the housewives, to all the house husbands, to all the drivers. I want to say good day. If you're a carpenter and you're doing your stuff, take care, wear your mask. You can't stop protecting yourself. We would have seen the number of persons who are being affected right now by COVID-19, and the ages. It's not, you could be as young as 28, you could be as young as 26, you could be as young as 40. I'm going to say young. These are young age. These are people that still have the whole life, and the deaths are attacking them. It means that people have underlying conditions, and you have to protect yourself. Do not take it for granted. So I want you also to send the text to 6222222, 6222222. I want to see those texts. What's bothering you? Tell us about your government. What have they been doing for you? Have they been visiting you? What is your NDC doing for you? What is the RDC doing for you? Are you happy with your mayor's performance? Are you happy with what is happening in your community? Tell us a little about the school, what is happening with your children there. So before we go to those texts that I know that have been coming in, a lot of them, every single day, there's scores and scores of text messages that people have been sending in to us. Thank you very much for that. We are going to read them as we go along. In a very short while, we are going to be joining Shivnan Lal from the Ethnic Relations Commission, and he's going to be telling us a little about a logo competition. Why is that important, a logo competition on this program here? Because we're questioning the Ethnic Relations Commission about what it's doing about the complaints that we have something of an ethnic problem going on here. We need to do something to bring our people together, to bring our people, not have a divide. And so the Ethnic Relations Commission, they're warming up to their job right now, meaning they're taking it to the next level, because we have been calling and we've been criticizing them about not doing enough. So let's hear what they're doing, really. They have a big task. They're the regulators, making sure that, those racists that are living in this country here, that we should charge them, we should sanction them whenever they start acting up here. Do not call us on 6222222. Do not call us on that. Just send the messages on that. So we hear 22677453. We want to hear you. Do we have another call there? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Go right ahead.
All right.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
So I was very annoyed when people were talking about the sergeant, the female sergeant and more.
Yes, sir.
But when I look at it, the sergeant is affiliated with his own people and fighting down the Indian people. Now,
This is Mr. Anand Prasad again.
huh?
This is Mr. Anand Prasad.
Anil Prasad?
No, this is Anand.
This
Oh.
is somebody else. This
Okay.
is from Monarch.
Okay. Yes.
Now, I've called in yesterday at the station concerning a foul fight game. You know they got a game cockfight.
Yes.
Anything about 100 person went there. I called in the station because every week Sunday, if there's a big fight or anything there.
Uh-huh.
And sir, this woman is not doing anything because of her affiliation.
Uh-huh.
These people, when they're fighting because of a gambling. It's a gambling game.
Yes.
I'm sorry if you see the amount of car. They asked me for the direction I show them.
Did you take any pictures? Y'all take any pictures?
No, I didn't take no pictures, sir.
Next time y'all start taking these pictures and let me see what happening and send it to us. You got to figure out a way of getting it to us so we could send it to the people.
Yes, but sir, when people say that Louis Field be in charge for misconduct, the police supposed to be in charge for that too. Not
Yes.
only one body must go
Right,
through.
but here how you doing it. You see, I could say that Raj is a thief. But I need to provide some documents and I need to make a complaint to somebody for them to start acting on it.
Yeah, but
Because we got to be careful. While the police has the thing, remember the police got to do. And remember, right about now, the police are so badly understaffed. If I'm ashamed to tell you that some of the stations barely got a vehicle that's working. It's
That's
really,
true.
really sad. It's really sad. But I understand what you're saying there. But I want you, did you talk to the commander?
no, the commander, when you call them, they don't answer the phone. I have a problem from last year, December the 3rd.
Who was there? Who was there at that time?
And I came home, and my house break down,
Uh-huh.
break up, and my house burned.
Oh my.
I went and I see out all my clothes, money, everything,
Uh-huh.
because I'm alone live. Up to now, I didn't get no satisfaction. The CID sergeant,
Uh-huh.
the commander put me on to him. When he put me on to that man tell me if me can give $50,000, he can handle the matter. Mr. Henry, I'm calling him name.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now, they said and send my paper to the DPP. They come back and the girl called me for some more information. He had a CID officer was in the room where the girl was speaking to me. His name was Mr. Mendonza. He
Uh-huh.
asked the girl, like, this man a hustler.
Uh-huh.
The girl tell him, no, I taken some information from me. He said, this man only speculating. Get him out of the place. Up in the station. So all these things that happen. And that sergeant at what they at and more, I was sorry for her when people think about she affiliate because these are Negro people who are doing this game. And they know they're not far. It's not somewhere far that you got to go far. It's in more not and in more hopeless the police station is.
I'm going to raise this thing back again. I think if there's a case where it is
She need to be disciplined. She needs to be go to court. Not only law and field misconduct, she is misconducting too.
All right, sir. Got you very clear. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Good day. So I want to say good day to the folks down in the Enmore there. And I see there's some complaints about this thing. What I could tell you is that we have confirmation that the police complaints to the authority would have been reviewing the case made by the complaint by the people of Enmore. And I'd have to find out from them where that case is. I'm going to call the Justice Retired William Ramlal and let us talk about that in a little while. He did invite me over. I'm on vacation, but I'd have to find some time and go talk to him. Somebody here, Joyce Seach, all the way from Florida. We watch him from Florida. The critic had an interview with Dr. Jagdeo where he pointed out that the criminal politics propagated by the opposition should cover this matter a little more. It's not the norm in any civil society to have citizens blocking the road in the presence of the law enforcement. Thank you very much for that. Very good point. And the issue that we have here is that while there's a right to protest, do you have a right to disrupt the lives and disrupt the businesses of people across this land? So we are going to continue to talk about that. We are going to raise these issues here. This is not something that's over with. I have some very serious issue. I went up to Berbice over the weekend and was a little nervous in that West Berbice area. And let me tell you this, something has really, really shocked me. I mean, you knew about it. But I must tell you that when I came over the Berbice, I was very, very alert, driving, and in some parts there was about 3 or 4 police vehicles. I'm talking about a truck with a heavily armed joint services ranks with heavy guns and everything. This is not something as a citizen of this country that I like to see, that there's a police presence or their military presence in our communities. the military should not be there, but we're asking for it. And then when you see that, you remember the Boxing times, and when there was a permanent outpost in the Boxing community area there, and that went south because there was even accusation that the joint services folks were in league with some of those criminals that were there. And even now, you see Boxing has changed for a little better. The people are not going to tolerate. Many of them will start pushing away the criminals who would have used there. So the criminals have moved there. They're moving between Agricola and Caneville, and there are many decent people there who are not going to tolerate it. But it is what it is. But I would come back to the West Babis area there. I was grieved. It saddened my heart so much to see the military presence there, and you see many parts of the road was badly damaged. It was there were craters in some part of the hole. You have to ease down, and you could see when you pass in there, the people are sitting there at the side of the road looking at all the vehicles, and there's a sense that it was unease in that area there. I was a little saddened to see that in the West Babis area that I always believe is so scenic. It has a lot of good homes, clean homes. People are farmers, and when you see that happen in the air, people are going to look at it suspiciously and want to drive past instead of just breezing past. You're looking at the scenery and enjoying it if you're headed to Berbice or you're coming from Berbice. So these are not things that I felt very happy about. I wasn't happy with the damage to our road because people were burning it. There were several. I counted at least 10 different places that they may have held. They would have had structures that were blocking the road because you could see the debris at the side of the road. You could see the road being burnt in those areas. You could see some craters there maybe where the road was damaged. And we are destroying our roads. And yes, I understand what these persons would have been saying here. With regards to the police and so on, the police got to do a little more than that because they know that they're under stress at the moment. We see many police ranks around the road, and they're clocking people, they're standing up, they're stopping vehicles all over the place and so on. And when you go to the police station, when you call them on a crime scene or you call them, they come. One man says there was an attempt robbery at this place in West Babis or somewhere there, and the police took about 9 to 10 hours before they could have come. So, the people are legitimate rights. They have concerns, legitimate concerns, in which people are complaining about some of these things that they would have raised from time to time with the police authority. And I think it's a culture that we've got to change. It's a culture in our people, not only in the police force, but maybe in the public service, in which people take it for granted. Let me give him or let me give her the kind of service that we've been accustomed to. As soon as 11 o'clock, so we lock up our place, and whoever they're there, they can come back this afternoon. And so, that level of service in which we treat the customer, we treat the people of Guyana with respect, with some kind of care, with some kind of dignity. It is not there anymore. It wasn't there for a very long time. And we have allowed ourselves in terms of the service that we provide to the people of Guyana. It has fallen to levels when you go overseas and you see what is happening there. It saddens you to see that, we could ask ourselves. Things have improved. I must say that the passport office, things are there dramatically improved from the days when people would have been lining up very early morning. It's faster now. You could actually go in now and say you want an emergency passport. You could pay $100, $100 and you could get it within 24 hours. So these are things that you are moving, that are seeing us, that's moving. The folks are saying that they're not seeing the Wake Up Guyana show on YouTube. Wake Up Guyana show on YouTube. I'm going to check that out now, caller, listener. It is Kaieteur radio live stream on YouTube. We're going to check that up right now. Rad says is shaking his head, so I think he's the culprit behind it. If not, Rad, you would forgive me for blaming you. So we go to 226-7453. We have another call online there. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Is this Kaieteur?
Yes, it is. You're on the Kaieteur radio. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm glad I get through to this program.
What's bothering you today?
It's a very, I was listening to this program for years now, and it's very, very interesting.
No, it's not years. It's since March we started, but go right ahead.
I was so sorry when I heard that you were sick and so forth.
Yes.
Yes, but I'm glad. Wish you all the best, your recovery.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm just calling. I'm calling from Mermezog.
Metamarzog, yes.
East.
Mm-hmm.
And the NDC a very long time now. They haven't came and do any kind of work at. I'm living just by the masjid, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it have a 4-foot drain, man. It got some commodity and thing there inside it. You know, we even missing one animals and thing right there. And I spoke to a guy from the NDC a very long time now, but let me say about 2 months ago.
Uh-huh.
And he told me that he would have sent somebody to cut the vegetation from the, from the 4 foot at the head. That's where the drain, there's drain. And until now, we haven't seen anybody.
Well, you know what you got to do? Let me tell you right away what I've been telling everybody, and it works. It works for me. I am very relentless when it comes to doing things. I pick up my phone, and some days, like I call a man over the weekend very quickly, and the man says, "Oh God, what you call me for? I hope it's not something bad." I said, "No, I call you to beg you for some money, or to beg you for something because I got to help a couple of people." He said, "Oh God," he took a sigh of relief. But what you got to do when you want things done, you got to be relentless on people. Like I did advise somebody this morning. They complained about the chicken pen right next door. Fence to fence, they build it up. I don't understand. You would put a chicken pen fence to fence in your yard, and the people living next door. You know about flies and the smell and everything. Why do I have to be, subjected to that? So here is what I'm going to say to you. You need to write your NDC. You need to copy a letter to the chairman of the NDC. Copy a letter to the overseer. Copy a letter to the RDC chairman, and of course, you copy a copy of that, and send it to the Minister of Local Government, Nigel
But you know
Damlad.
something, Mr. Gildarie, a few, let me say, about 2 months ago, I did call the regional office, and I spoke to one of the secretary, and she told me that she would have passed on the message.
Don't pass on no message. You need to document it black and white. Black and white, send it to them. That's the only way. So you could come back to them. I did send you 5 letters. And so you need to do that. And every time you see them, when are you going to come? When you got to do that. You got to keep. And after a little while, you're going to be pestering someone. They don't want to see you. So when you do that, I mean, you have to write. You got to understand your rights. You have a right to a clean neighborhood because you're paying your taxes and things like that.
That
it might
is
not
correct.
be the thing.
That is
So
correct, sir.
when
That
you
is
understand,
correct.
when you understand your rights, you're gonna be so much empowered. So that's all I'm saying to you. Start documenting, put in black and white, so they could never say that Gildarie did not complain. I'm complaining to you officially, and I'm complaining to the minister. The minute that they see that the minister is being complained to, you'll see how fast somebody is gonna get up out of the thing. And when you
One
start
more
calling
thing, Mr.
names,
Gildarie, one more thing.
sure.
We having one light by Tala Dam, and it looks like one of the wires actually maybe it gets slack. That is it only have to look after, and it's very dark during the night. It's only that one light to come in, that main access to get at the back in the scheme, and it's very dangerous because we see some cars coming in and park during the night and different things like that. The dogs will be barking,
Right. What could I tell you? You could have, if the NDC can do it, because I don't think they have electrician there, talk to the GPL guys, just give them a little raise and let them boys do something.
That's what I was doing. I was looking out for the GPL guys.
Yeah, the boys do it, man.
I ain't see nobody parking.
I'm not saying for you to give them a raise, because what they do is say, boss, could you do that for me? And they do 5 minutes, take 5 minutes work.
That's right.
And if you want to buy a drink for them as well, it's not bribe. It's not bribe.
I understand.
Okay, so I won't tell you to bribe. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And you have a nice day. Continue this very interesting program and helpful in this country.
God bless you, my
I
brother.
do
Take care.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much. So today, let us see what the folks are saying today. Good morning. Let us talk about that Facebook post. Let me see. This came 11:20. All right, let me see what this person is. I am obligated this morning to send this. Good morning. Let's talk about a Facebook post where they say the small private party running for the president. Why do they have to pick a side? They're supposed to be independent. That's why all of the small fries party, all of them become PPP now. Okay, that's how Guyana rules. That's why the new Guyana and all those other small Fries Party and PPP supporters now, because they have to choose a side. I'm not sure. We as Indian, we need to stand up now and see what is right and what is wrong. And when we have to go and stand up and let our voices be heard to stop prosecuting the black people, it's not fair. Anthony Snow said, not because we're Indian, we have to approve all the wrong things. That the Indian does know, we don't have to let them know that where they're doing wrong. This is exactly what I'm doing now with you. Everything I say to you, it's all black and white. I want to agree with you. And that's why, in a very short while, I am going to talk to the ERC. I did ask them to come on this program here. They never took up the opportunity to come on, and they are the regulators. If I'm the regulator, I would want to share my knowledge all across this land, especially if I have a free forum, a free program that allows me to educate the people, to make people aware. So, I mean, I can understand what people are saying. It's all black and white that we see in things, and I want to say thank you very much here. I don't so agree. Let us ease this thing about the Indians and blacks, and what I want to say, let's stop this madness of having idiots, and I use that word very, very loosely there, having our idiots out there divide us. When you see them, you start telling them, not in this house, not in front of my face. You move from here or you remove yourself from the scene. Do not allow yourself to do that. Good afternoon. Leonard, I would like to say I love your show. I listen to it often. However, I have a question for you. I'm curious to know, why is it that Patterson Turkine, it got to be Patterson, not Patterson Turkine, Greater Georgetown has been forgotten. This area has been in existence for over 25 years, and it seems that it's only during election that the area gets recognized. But once a president is elected, this area is forgotten again. This area needs street lights, proper road, cross street, etc. This area has a lot of elderly people and get flood a lot when it rains. I agree. I think I know that area. It's a Turkine Patterson area. That's right not too far from where the Giffland Mall is and next door to the movie Tong. So I did raise that issue there. I'm going to send it to, let me send it to, the ministers are listening to this program, or they're paying attention to whenever we send thing. So somebody did ask for two, what you call it, 2 or 3, what do you call those things that you push people on? I'm just lost the word there, Leonard. Okay, 1, 2. Good. I've sent it there. I'm going to look out for that. So in the meantime, let me see some other thing. Good afternoon, Gildarie. I'm not getting you on YouTube. Is the YouTube on? Huh? Yes, the YouTube is on. I'm not sure why you're not getting the YouTube. You need to check it back. Our boys here saying that the YouTube is on. Good job, Gildarie. Good day. Thank you very much. Hi, Leonard, Gildarie. Due to the pandemic, there's no graduation for the grade 6 students. Why is there not a voucher given to the top student? Why is there that the top students can't even have a trophy or medal? There's no courage given to the students. My brother topped the school, and I can see because he didn't get a certificate, trophy, or medal, he doesn't have that confidence in going forward. Is this fair? The kids tried the best, even though it was challenging. Who are we dependent on for the future? These kids, they're the future. So in a very short way, you are going to call that. Talking to Raj here. So this is very sad. I'm not so sure what are some of the schools doing. I know that my little daughter's school, they had a very quick thing with handing over to the teacher a gift on behalf of the students. And I think there was some kind of thing happening, but they were very careful in the pandemic. You've got to be very careful. The less that you could have crowds, but I understand if there's a top student, the school is obligated to, show some kind of recognition for what they're doing there, and I agree. And if this kid has done so very well, my congratulations to them. Yes, 3 wheelchairs, that person have asked. Yes, wheelchairs, my apologies. Sometimes the words go through my head and I'm thinking doing 300 things one time. So, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. Do I have, am I on the ship?
Hello?
Yes. Somebody called in. My apologies. I'm not sure. Raj have fallen asleep on the thing there again. Raj is a very bad boy, So it's the wheelchairs. I'm working on the wheelchair. Miss Vindhya Prasad, the Minister of Human Services, did indicate to Gildarie that she's going to give a helping hand. I'm working on that. You guys just bear up with me a little bit, and then I'm going to tell you when and how. and we're going to deal with it. Hi, good afternoon. Why and more estate don't take on people from enterprise to work on the estates? I'm not sure what they're doing. You guys need to get on to work on the estate, the Enmore estate. And I think enterprise is asking why they don't do that. Have there been any process that's open for applications? Let me know how does it. You guys need to send me some messages there. Raj, do we have the call online there? Okay, in the meantime, while they're doing that, let me okay, a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Street to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at the moment. So by the time the boys get ERC on the line there, we are going to read you some other messages that's coming in from our people. It's 62222. 62222. Yes, good afternoon. I think we now get in. I'm not sure what's happening there.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello? Okay, so in the meantime, while the boys are getting up, I think they're watching here the Wake Up Guyana show, and I think they are tuned in. It's so very good, Raj. When we have so many people here, we have Raj and we have Joshua in the studio, and the boys are all fired up. They love the radio station, and they've been coming in every single day, doing what they got to do, and like clockwork, and the people are tuning in because they've seen what they're doing. Okay, good afternoon, Leonard. I'm living in Chansan Road, Suzdike, and we don't have electricity here. Also, the other road which runs parallel and very populated, known as Kaieteur Sand Road. For over 20 years now, we can't get nowhere. It's very frustrating. Only promises in election time. And please let the relevant persons hear you. And send that to the relevant person. Thank you very much to that person there. And somebody says, I would like to ask the NIS where. I would like you to ask the NIS why they increase the minimum payment. They don't do it on a percentage basis, but let the minimum catch up at the lower level. Also, the government is only increasing the old age pension. Why not the NIS pension? This is something that the NIS would have to say. I think they're in some predicament right there and then. They need to bring it on an even keel before, for long-term viability, this is going to have problems. Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. How are you? I have this concern to raise. How can an NGSA child that was awarded a particular secondary school based on his mark be given permission to attend a school that has a higher cutoff mark? There's many parents who are disgruntled would like to have their children attend the school of their choice but can't. Why are they always the exception? It is said that the parent has a political clout. I say no further. I'm not aware of any case like this. I know that if you want to move from a higher school to a lower school because of location and things like that, that's very thing. If you got to go from lower school to a higher school, then we have issues there. It has to be done. I think the ministry, I don't think a particular minister could, even the Minister of Education can't do it off her own. I think there's some ways that you could probably appeal, and it has to be under special circumstances. So we are going to talk about that in a little while. I'm going to probably, when I ask the minister to come on board, we're going to probably ask her to tell us a little about that. Raj, okay, I'm waiting on Raj. Let's read a couple of messages here. Good day, enjoying the program. Keep it up. The good works. So it looks as if we have some issues there with our folks. Hi. Hello again. I applied for the COVID-19 relief assistance hamper since July and nothing, and I keep calling the CDC and the social protection. I'm not getting anything. Yes, they placed everything on a hold with regards to hampers right now until they could finish paying out everybody the $25,000 cash that they're doing right now. They're moving slowly. I think they should move faster. Some people are saying they should move faster, and people are getting impatient with it. But I have spoken to Lieutenant Colonel Kester Craig of the CDC, the Civil Defense Commission, which is charged with giving out emergency hampers and so on. And he is saying that he's awaiting word. They've placed it on a hold right now until they could get a word from the government. They don't want to confuse it because it could very well end up into a scandal in that it's not being, and then people are going to accuse the government. And even Gildarie, who probably had nothing to do with it, might even get accused. I don't want to be accused. So we are going to be bringing you those. Yes, this is 2020. We need to come together as one. One people, one nation, one destiny. We'll make a better Guyana. We have to do that. Do it right for the sake of the young people of tomorrow. I want to agree with that. We have some people here. So, Raj, we're not getting through with that. I think there's some issues there with getting the numbers. Could we get some people calling in to us right now? 226-7453, 226-7453. Send us those text messages to 622-222. I think George them are trying to get through. So in the meantime, some of the big news that you should know about today.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. I think if we cut it off, he calls us because we apologize for that. We're trying to get through with the ERC at the moment. So just bear with us while we get it, and we are going to come on back with you in a very short while. In the meantime, let me see what is happening. Do we have another call here? Let me see right in there. No. So it's a Wake Up Guyana show, and we tuned in from the Kaieteur studio here on Saffron Street. We're coming to you on Kaieteur 99.1 in Demerara, and in Esquimalt 99.5 in Berbice. You could also get us on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, and Kaieteur Radio live stream. So I think we are ringing now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shiv Lal. How are you doing, sir?
Not bad at all, Leonard. How are you?
I was about to accuse you of not wanting to come on the show, but I know you're a good friend to Gildarie and the Kaieteur Radio and so on. How are you doing?
Oh, yeah, man.
We had some technical issues there. So we have with us right now Mr. Shiv Lal, and he's no other than the Public Relations Officer of the Ethnic Relations Commission. You know that the Ethnic Relations Commission has a very, very serious mandate and regulatory powers when it comes to race relations, ethnic relations in Guyana. So I'm going to ask, I know that in a very short while you are going to tell us, I know there's a logo competition which is part of the campaign, Mr. Nandlal, that the ERC is using to raise the awareness of ethnic relations in Guyana, how we could improve it. Tell us a little, because there is that logo competition. Could you tell us a little about what's happening?
Yes, thank you, Leonard, and good afternoon to the listeners. I want to zero in straight away. The Ethnic Relations Commission plans to host a national symposium on race relations soon in Guyana, and we're inviting all Guyanese of all ages to, well, in this case, participate in a logo competition for that national symposium. The logo competition is really geared towards persons who would want to participate, and the theme that we're focusing on for that symposium is Understand, Respect, Unite, Bridging the Ethnic Divide. So the logo competition is open to Guyanese of all ages, and the deadline submission is October the 30th, that's tomorrow. It's been on our Facebook page for over a week now, and moving into the deadline, which is tomorrow, there is some time still, but persons can submit their entries to the ERC office at 66 Peter Rose and Irish Street, or email those entries or those logos to peau@erc.org.gy. Let me give that to you again. It's peau@erc.org.gy. Now, the symposium itself, we know that we need to have a conversation. There's various factors that have led to an erosion of race relations. And those factors would be examined through the working groups during the symposium. And the idea is actually coming out of that symposium, the ERC wants to submit a report to Parliament based on that, on the outcome of that symposium. Bear in mind, the ERC does not report to a minister. We report to the Speaker of Parliament. So we are not bound by any directives coming from a minister as such. So this is all in keeping with our mandate, and this is to get Guyanese, particularly civil society, the private sector, academic scholars, practitioners, policy makers, about the race relations, what has been affecting the race relations, and the perhaps what is prevented the socio-economic transformation of the country. So registration is free, and the details would be available soon online, because this symposium is scheduled for the latter part of November. November this year. So registration and details on registration will be available soon. And of course, because of the COVID-19 restrictions, the symposium will be on the Zoom platform, and Facebook will be live streaming on those domains. And the thing is, we will have some physical participation as well.
I thank you very much for that. So, very quickly, Mr. Nandlal, because people on this program here, especially, have been wanting to hear what you, because of course, the only way we could be able to heal what has happened is having a hearing with our authorities, and so in this case, it is the ERC. So here is what we're going to do, and I'm very happy that you guys have started this logo competition, because it means that you are very much aware of what the concerns are out there, and it is a big concern, especially with that Barbies issue, with the elections that we have just passed, and it's still continuing. I think a lot of people are hurt, and people don't want to go through this again. And we of course, I would like to know, and I think many persons would want to know, how is it that ERC is stepping up its game? So here is what we're going to do. I want to thank you very much for this logo thing, which gives me the front door open, and to invite you and maybe the ERC chairperson and even the commissioners to come on the radio here. Let's have a chat, a powwow. It doesn't take, I mean, the people want to talk. They probably want to ask you about some of the rights that they have as residents, as citizens of this beautiful country of ours. So if I feel grieved that Gildarie, is doing something, that I have some rights, or the person have some rights in which they could take some actions against me, because I would have said something which may have some racial links and so on. So maybe I want to invite you. The chance is thrown out, and let's do it as early as possible. You get back to me, and let us do that, Mr. Leonard.
Definitely, Leonard, yes.
And I thank you very much, dear. Any other thing you want to add before we close this?
Well, at the same time, persons who want to be part of this logo competition, there is a prize of $50,000 for the best entry, and it's a good mechanism for persons. I know we have a lot of talent out there to simply put their creative energies together and come up with a logo. Then remember the theme: understand, respect, unite, bridging the ethnic divide. That's the theme of the symposium. So persons wanting to be a part of it can remember that theme. Persons can follow us on our Facebook page, Ethnic Relations Commission, for updates. Right. So as details become available, we'll be letting the public know about dates and venues and so on, and registration also. And registration is free, by the way.
Yes, I thank you very much, there, Mr. Shiv Nandlal, and he's the Public Relations Officer of the Ethnic Relations Commission. Thank you, Mr. Nandlal.
Thank you,
please make arrangements to bring your people on here as early as possible. The people are calling for it, right?
No problem.
God bless you, my brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good. Bye-bye. So it's the Shiv Nandlal there for the Ethnic Relations Commission. We had to take that break there because, of course, they've asked us there to do that public as part of our responsibility to the people of Guyana. We were obligated, to do what you call public service announcements from time to time, PSAs. And we have to, of course, when these things happen, we are obligated as part. It's a part of our licensing arrangements. So we have to do that, and that was part, I think it is. But at the end of the day, we are going to bring back ERC. We're going to bring the commissioners. We're going to bring the chairperson, because ERC is the regulator. ERC is the authority that they can even charge you or recommend charges against you, sanction you, and call you before them to testify if they find that you are doing anything racial, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's spoken word, whether it's a video, whatever it is. They have a very important role. So I want to say thank you very much today for being with us. It's the Wake Up Guyana show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and it's 226-7453. It's the people's business now. Let's get back into it. We have about 40 to 45 minutes, and we want to get as much calls in as possible. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go right
Hi,
ahead.
good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. How are you?
Pretty good, sir.
Good. Glad to hear that. I'm listening to your program, but I joined a little late because I had to go this morning.
Yes.
This is Councillor McDougall.
Yes, sir.
And I would like, since I am telling you that I joined you late, I don't want it to happen again that I'm late where you might have had Mr. GRA or the Ministry of Finance.
No, we didn't talk anything with GRA and finance this morning. It was more about law and field and a couple of people.
I understand. I didn't know what the program was. I heard Mr. Nanlal on the radio just now, so I wasn't home to listen to the whole program. What I'm saying, just so that I don't miss, if they were to come on the program, I would like to leave a contact information for you to give me a heads up when it's going to happen, so that I could be home and have my contribution made to them.
No problem, no problem. I'm going to work on it as soon as I get my head right. I seem to be all over the place right now. So you're going to call the switchboard this afternoon, and I'm going to give you...
I could leave it with you now. It's very simple.
All right, good.
It's 600-6746. And if you forget it, Mr. Gildarie, it is 600 ORIN. You can't forget my name. Yeah, you know... Right. Just press with the O, the R, the I, and the N is.
Thank you very much, sir.
I just need a heads up because I don't want to miss out on them being on the program, and I'm not home.
Oh gosh, this might sound like abuse out there, but let me go.
No, it's not abuse.
It is all right.
It's that I need to have my ID.
No, of course. As citizens of this country, we have that right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Bye-bye. So at the end of the day, it is we must know our rights, and this program here, the Wake Up Guyana show, is designed to empower you, for you to understand that you have a lot of powers. So it's 226-7453, and you have those messages to send to 62222. We want to read to people what are some of your concerns. What is it that you're thinking about your government? Well, how is it that you want this country to move forward? Do you believe that the government is lapsing in some way? Do you believe a couple of authorities are not doing what they're supposed to be doing? What is happening in your village, in your community? We want to know. This is what the Wake Up Guyana show is on Kaieteur Radio. Do we have another caller today, Raj? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the line. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Leonard, and how are you?
Pretty good, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Here's what I heard the minister announcing protocol for the airport that will be reopening. But I did not hear they say anything about infants under 1 year if they have to do the PCR test before they go.
I could barely hear you. Could you speak up a little? Do you have it on speaker or something? Go ahead.
Yes, I was saying that I heard the minister announcing protocols for PCR testing.
Right.
But they didn't say anything about infants under 1 year if they have to do any tests. And they didn't say if we can access these tests at a public facility or we have to do it private in order to have our tests done.
Yeah, I think if the test, whichever way, a PCR test, whether you do it privately or publicly, is one result you got to get. So you could do it public or private as long as there's a test results here.
Yeah, but my question is, they didn't say anything about infants, so I was wondering if
that's a very good
under
question.
1 year
That's a very good
after
question,
the
and I'm
test
not
is.
sure. I'm not sure in cases like this how to treat infants, because I did the PCR, the COVID test, and it's something that you insert up your nose, and it wasn't a very.
So
It's
they
not that
should
it's
have been
very.
a little bit more clear on that part, because you don't want to go to the airport just with an adult test and then they're saying that you can't go because the child.
I'm going to get some
has
clarity
not
on
been
that.
tested.
I'm going to get some clarity
on
on that.
that part, because
Yes.
it's very critical for the baby to go as well. You understand?
Got you very, very clear. Very
Okay,
clear.
thank you
I'm
so
going to
much,
find out.
Leonard.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
dear
thank
ma'am.
you.
Good, bye-bye. So I want to say good day before we go back to those messages very, very quickly. A good day to all everybody who's on with us from overseas and locally here, especially on Facebook and so on. You are also locked into us here on YouTube. Rita Jagmohan, Sheikh Abraham, and we have Kamala Singh all the way from Brampton, Ontario. Good day to you. Pam Singh. Jai Prasad, I'm just calling these names. If I miss you guys, forgive me. Banwati Jean Ram, and we also have Tara Jagdeo, Atom Bacchus as always, Savinath, Data, Nandal, sorry. Blackie Singh, a good day to my friend Blackie Singh. How are you doing? Alistair, Jeremiah, and Barkley, Tara Jagdeo, well, I did say that. RM Singh, some Wayne Prasad here, Joyce Seach, Salman Smith, Lachman Samlal. I think that's about it as much as I can go very, very quickly. And good afternoon, bro. Education is a big demand still, and poor people need help from government to help the kids get better education. I can tell you that every week I have to put $3,000 data for my 3 kids for school work. That's unfair to poor people. The other thing is the hamper application just pop up on the CDC page, and what happened to the people who doesn't have internet? Yes, you're right. And so when I learned about these things, I remember we just learning however I could get them and when these information come up. But they put a halt on the CDC, the sharing out of the hampers. You could probably apply, but they put a halt on any sharing out at the moment until they could get this cash out of the way, this cash vouchers or so. I rather suspect that they're going to use the same set of people to do the sharing out of the hampers, so maybe they don't have enough personnel. You don't put any enough person to share all these things. These people got to be professionals. They got to know. They got to have ideas of logistics and so on. So let us get some ideas as to that. I have a complaint, sir. There's people in the Tushan North. There's a East Bank Esquibble, that's Old Road Corner. I would say that they're very dirty people. They're not using the bin to put the garbage. They put in the garbage on the road. It's very nasty to look at. It's smelly. And in the afternoon, they put fire on the garbage. You know, you guys got to be a little more cleaner than that. If this is indeed true, we dirty set of people, man, that you're dumping garbage all over the place. You got to put it in such a way, put it in a bag or something, and there's garbage to be taken. Do not just walk across the street and, I see a lady, some videos of a lady just coming out of her house, walking in a very royal manner to the garbage heap that is opposite her home, and people are very upset with that. Good day to WR Riaz in the studio here. G. Prasad from Brooklyn is saying hello to the folks here. Hi, I'm currently in Canada. I was wondering if there's a COVID test to travel to Guyana. You have to take the COVID test over there. Wherever you are, take it, and it takes it, I think, within 72. Is it 72 hours? 72 hours. I'm going to ask Riaz in a very short while to tell us about some of the requirements. What happens, a lady was asking in a very short while. Yes. A baby. So.
Yeah, good day. I was on my way. I was just parking when that caller was coming through. I was made to understand once they're 3 years old. I was about to make a call to someone at Ministry of Health before coming upstairs just to verify that. However, that person number ring till it rang out. The last I heard, but I just want 100% confirmation. And before the end of the day, I'll give you the same information as well, Leonard. So maybe you'll share it out tomorrow. I did understand it was like about between 3 to 5, but I just will accurately 100% confirm that before the end of the day, so tomorrow we could share to that listeners it is.
Thank you very much, WR Riaz. You had a good weekend?
Yeah, it was
Raj cooked biryani yesterday. He said something biryani was mumbling something. I don't know whether he still had a biryani, chewing it or something.
He had biryani, probably was eating biryani, probably, maybe. That was good.
There's a very strange fellow, he comes in, he cooks biryani, and then says, I cook biryani. You got to force it out of him, and then he doesn't bring any for anybody. So there's some issues going on with this gentleman.
The weekend wasn't a bad weekend. We did have an accident. We did have a fatality.
And there was somebody fell on in Diamond there. Yeah. That lady that died
about an hour ago, that caused a chaotic traffic jam at the East Bank just by... That's what Providence, just by the Rubis gas station. The eastern lane, 2 trucks made a little kiss up. Nothing too serious, but it caused traffic build up for a good period of time. Currently, the Demerara Harbor Bridge is closed to vehicular traffic, so I need not to tell you what may happen a little bit later on the East Bank. So expect some traffic there. Apart from that, we've seen. I think this was the most active weekend for ministers. Have you been following? I think this is the most active weekend. When I say the most active, is that I've seen quite a number of ministers, including His Excellency President Ali, moving from Berbice to East Coast to Sophia. Next day straight.
I'm a little happy. Let me tell you why I'm happy. Riaz, I'm very happy. I would like to see parliamentarians. And this I mean that me Yal is not friend. I'm friends with all Yal. But I'd like to see some parliamentarians turning up with dark circles on the allies in parliament in the chambers. And Mohammed Irfan Ali as president. You get them busy, get them working. And I think maybe this is a good thing. I think there's an air. There's an air in this country now that is really, and this is not because this is not anything political. This is a fact. There's an air in this country that people are very confident now. It's all over the place.
The fact of it is that why are we continuously talking about this? And I want everyone to understand. It is, we have not seen, it's either two things. And I'm subject for correction on this. Please correct me, anyone. It's either Facebook wasn't showing me the feed when the previous government was touring, or I didn't see it. That's all. But it seems that I'm seeing so much is happening.
No, they're all over the place.
This is what I'm saying. Correct me, anyone, because this is not a political statement. I don't want someone to, think of it like, but facts need to be given. Ministers, MPs. Now, every single day, MP Faisal Jafar Ali from Region 5, Berbice, has been impressing me, because every 2-3 hours, the man is in a different community doing work and engaging people. And when I see these things, I have to, call it out. I saw Minister of Labour going back up Kaieteur for another training session again. This is good. Yeah, people are being engaged. People are being engaged, which is a good for community. I know some persons may say, well, they didn't get to my community, the hampers didn't deliver to my community. It's a task, but good to know that they're listening to people. And every day, the Attorney General gets a spot that he goes every day. Saturday, rain, sun, or dark, or no light, he sits there from 10 to about 12. And I'm sure it's going to be over 12. In Monrepo, I saw this week he was joined by Minister Nigel Darmlal with him. So these guys,
I think and that's a very good thing when you have politicians, and this is on a very, very serious note now. I've always said here, I've sat in this program here, and as the days go by, I became very vocal, and I became less fearful of what this mic could do and what it has been doing. But I've always said that the politicians got to start understanding very, very quickly that they're there to serve the people.
Yep.
And it's not only politicians. I'm talking about the NDC officials, all the councillors and everybody, even the mayors and everybody, even the public servants. That's why you name public servant service.
Service, exactly.
So you got to have an understanding very clearly that when you go in there, this thing is not about money anymore. It's about service to the people. So you're dedicated, even your family life, that you have to understand when you enter this business here, that you put your family life at second, because it is to the people you've sworn an oath to uphold, to serve. That is what it is. So when I see things like this, that, I hope, I'm not sure how long they can continue this momentum. Whatever it is, I like what I'm seeing. And I like the fact that the president has them busy.
Yes, indeed. Apart from that, it's been a quiet weekend. We've seen more cases for COVID. We've seen the ministers are being educating the nation a little bit more. Kudos to them. But I think, we've been doing this to the nation since March. Before
we go read some other things, you are going to see a Barack Obama situation here. When Barack Obama went in there, nice looking guy. You see when he came out, all grey hair all over the place, and then I think he stopped smoking too.
Yeah, and then we had a Facebook scenario last night on social media as well. And Gildarie name was calling in this Facebook.
No, I took a picture. Let me tell you.
Gildarie name was calling in this dramatic unfold on social media.
Yeah. I took a picture of Critic in here, and I said, well, whenever Critic and Gildarie meet up, it's going to be big war, something like that. And so the kids, we have some very wicked staffers here. So the reporters themselves, we're going to set them up. So it says Critic is the editor-in-chief, and he's well loved as he's well criticized as well. So they went after him and said, Kaieteur News has gone to the dogs. And I'm saying, but Critic, I mean, I'm not sure what it takes to be an editor. Look, if you have some street sense, you could become a very good editor. You don't have to edit. You could get somebody probably to proofread those stories. But a good manager maybe. Because let me tell you this. I barely finished high school. I didn't do any degrees. I didn't go anywhere. I couldn't afford it. I had to start working. And I would say I don't know a lot. But I write a column. I'm not sure whether any persons read it.
I want to think they read
edit
it.
sometimes.
They read it. They read it.
But at the end of the day, look. At the end of the day, I think common sense is a very important thing. But let's go very quickly back into those messages, and then we go back to those calls. It's about 25 minutes or so thereabouts we have. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. I'm living in the Commons Lodge area. We have lots of drainage problem. Went to Freedom House and talked to somebody, and they say somebody will come, but they never. It's about 6 weeks now. You got to find out who is it that you talk to, and try to get back to them. I'm not sure. What about the NDC? Have you spoken to the NDC or to the City Council? I think the City Council has some jurisdiction there, or does that fall under the Region 4? Is there an NDC there? You need to tell us. Thank you, Mr. Gildarie. I appreciate your help on the issue about the children under 2 years. If they have to go do the PCR test before traveling, I'd be looking forward to get the confirmation once we get the confirmation.
Yeah, I'm working as soon as I can.
Thank you very much, dear. So please verify the COVID-19 requirements again. You must see a difference because the media is fully involved. Everybody is now on social media and not playing anymore. Thank you very much, dear sir, madam. So there's a caller online there, Raj. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You on the air?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
All right.
Tell me.
All right to you?
Yeah, man. We're trying here. We're trying. It's Monday. It's a good day.
I got a problem here, man.
Yes.
In Falls.
And where?
Right?
Falls.
Falls,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right? Now, this week makes 5 weeks, and this garbage, people can't come and pick up this garbage as yet.
Right? Who is the garbage people? Is it the garbage people? Is it NDC? And have they hired somebody else, or they do it themselves?
Boxon trying to tell you that not only here they got to come pick up, but Leonard, this is 5 weeks now. What must we do with we paying the rates and tax? We are pensioners. We can't go into province service and pay 540 when we come. That's ridiculous.
Right. I'm not
what
sure.
About.
When you call them,
the Ministry of Communities.
When you call them, what they said?
The garbage. They're not picking up the garbage.
What they said? Did you try to reach out to them?
Yeah, we call him. Then we call into Boxon. Boxon tell him that this is not the only way. Not the only house, not the only place. They got to go here.
But if you come in and pick up the pick up the thing, so I mean, whether you come today or tomorrow, you have to come pick it up.
Yeah, exactly.
So that doesn't answer your question.
5 weeks now.
I don't understand that at all. You need
5 weeks.
You need to get on to the local government commission.
I get on to community since last week. They take down my name, take down my number, and never give me a call. I call him just now, less than half an hour ago, right?
And this is the Boxon NDC, you said? Boxon Falls NDC?
Yes, there's a Falls Boxon NDC.
There's a gentleman there, I think I'm going to give you, he's a chairperson there. Let me see if I get his name right away. Excuse me. I can't put my hands on it, but he was a former chairman at the NDC there. If you could get him, I can't remember what his name is, but if you could get him there, I think he's a good man to get hold of. Let me make one more check. Don't go away yet. One more check.
I got another point here, Leonard.
Yes, sir.
I see there a group of people coming in the communities. One are the black people, right? And we know we've got the flags and on the post and the drums and everything. They come in with one that they're taking off everything off the post and everything, all the drums and everything, when we nail up the drum and everything for doing the party thing. They're taking this off. When I talk to the chap now and tell him, man, who gave you all authority, the man cost me, the black chap.
Did you report to the police? Yeah, but let
No,
me careful
I
about
didn't
this thing.
collect
But
it. I didn't report the matter to the
you got to
police.
don't allow it to
Right,
happen like
because
that.
I asked who gave you all authority to take all the things. But I don't care, your police on so.
All right, let me stop the right here. I don't want to tolerate too much of this thing.
I
We got to
know.
complain to the police and to
Okay.
the ARC and things like that. But in any case, call the NDC former chairman here, 664-1781.
1781.
664-1781.
Okay then.
Call
Thank you
him and
very
tell him that you spoke to me, right?
Okay, good.
Thank you very much, dear. And it really aches me that we got to be in this very divisive mode at the moment. When you hear things like that, how does it affect you, Riaz?
It's a very distaste statements, and this is coming from.
No, but the man is hurting. But
Yeah.
it is an issue
Yeah,
that we have.
it's an issue that we have, and it's an ongoing issue that we all play a role to eradicate. And I think it could only start from us. And when I say us, I mean an individual. It starts from you, your own self, and could be able to transcend to others. It's very worrying, because why I'm worried, it's like, you know what, I say, you know what, it's okay. I've already built in the system. I'll manage the system, but I'm worried for the next generation as it is. And I'm worried that the next generation will be stained before they even realize that they've reached that age of where hate has been instilled in their minds, and that's the bad thing about it. Yes, everyone always wants to be like the taboo thing, like, you know, we shouldn't talk race, or we shouldn't talk, or people ain't gonna like when you are
No, you
saying
have
these
to
things.
deal with it.
But it's something that
yeah.
we have to deal with. We can't stop putting it on the covers and sweeping it under the mats day by day. We wouldn't get anywhere.
You see, Trinidad, whether they like it or not, Trinidad got a serious problem, you know.
Trinidad have a serious racial problem, a
And you have
serious
to
race
deal-
game.
They have to, I don't
right?
know how they. And the thing is, it's evolving to gangs and things like that.
Trinidad is so extreme that I am happy to say that we have not seen evidence foreseen to these Islamic terrorist groups.
No, I mean,
Trinidad, it's dear. And
ISIS,
these
all
are
kind of
things that
thing,
we
yeah.
condemn. These are things that, you know, I would not ever promote. Anywhere, there are two things that someone may not be able to take away from me. Where are you from? I'm from Guyana. What's your religion? I'm a Muslim. That doesn't change. That's two things that will not change about me. But go to Trinidad, it's like it's a whole different ball game with them and their setup, which is worrying.
We have to grapple with this thing, and we have to deal with it as early as we can. And I agree with you there, Riaz. In that situation, we have to be very guarded. We have to be very guarded in the way that we do things. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon. It's sad to see how low and dirty our politicians can be. I'm talking about Cheryl Duncan and his post on Facebook. I have observed that the NDC also, the West Side, is doing a wonderful job of cleaning the forefoot. But on the other hand, the GPA contractor is cleaning the power lines. In doing so, he's cutting down the trees and leaving it in the forefoot that the NDC recently cleaned. And this is the problem that I have. You have GPL working, GT&T working, GWI working. And when they break up the road, like GWI came in, fix a pipe, a leak. I can remember telling GWI to come fix a leak because the water was gushing out through the road. They come, broke up the road, and left all the dirt, half of the road broken up. And did nobody, and I mean, I don't understand, like nobody is, if you come in and broke up the road, so if the GWI does not tell the NDC or GWI does not tell public infrastructure or public works, how are they going to know? So there seems to, and the left hand is not knowing what the right hand is doing.
Yeah, it
so, you know, we need to be very, very careful about this.
Seems that way altogether.
So, this is what somebody is saying. Let me see what they're saying here. Okay, and this is exactly, if we don't come together, we allow our outside people to come and divide us more. Thank you very much for that. We understand that. The people are taking down this. Okay. All right, let me see. Can you let us know how much for the PCR test at the airport in Guyana? Are they doing the PCR test at the airport?
Yeah, they were still to streamline it according to the release. They will get that info out, I'm assuming, by time today, but I know that there are a couple of things that are being streamlining, yeah.
Right. I think this is very good news, but the control, I'm a little worried about the control, because if you see, we've gone, the numbers are ticking. This is 22, it's 22 deaths within 13 days.
we ought to be worried about it, but
You have to start somewhere, right?
you got to start somewhere in the sense that, all right, for an example, if we want to go to Canada today, we cannot just jump on a plane and get into Canada. We may be fortunate to get into Miami or New York, but we cannot get in to Canada right now. We need to make an application. An application need to be vetted. You need to explain proper reasoning going to Canada. This is a non-resident or a citizen, right? Then they will verify your information, then get back to you on the airlines. That's Canada right now, right? A few weeks ago, you could have gone into Canada if they had a few flights that was leaving Guyana. It's not happening like that right now. You could get in to go to Miami, yes. You could get in to go to New York, but mind you, you still will have to do. You still have to follow those countries' guidelines or those cities or state guidelines altogether. Most what we're paying attention to and release from the Honorable Minister is what's coming into Guyana, because that's our main concern right now.
Well, let's see what happens here. I think Alistair Jeremiah is complaining about not being on YouTube. I'm not sure what's happening there. Let's see what happens. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. I'm living in Covent Garden. New scheme. Is there anyone who could fix our road? There's no street you could drive in. It have big holes damaged to a car that have to drive through. And there's a man that's rearing cow. You can't even leave your yard. They damage up your land. The drain is clogged. The land get flooded when rain fall. I've been living there for 3 years and nobody's doing anything to the scheme. I can tell you that it is. I think I'm aware that Minister Susan Rodriguez would have gone into the Prospect area. That same area there that's right next to Covent Garden there. A couple of days back after a resident complained. I'm going to find out if it is the same. She did announce some emergency works for that area there, some roads and so on. Not sure if it's going to be done in a very, very rapid manner. But we did tell her, and she would have gone into that area. Was Covent Garden part of it? I can't remember. I can't tell you that. Thank you. If an employer has been tested by a private company, what is it that the employer, I'm not sure. Somebody is saying, if an employee has been tested with a private company, what is it that the employer is required to do? COVID positive.
Private or public, if you're positive, then you have to go to quarantine.
Right. I think
whether it's private or public, it doesn't change the fact of the matter on that.
Right. But let's see what happened. Do we have another call there on the line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
My apologies. We caught you off not too long ago. Now we were trying to get you.
I know we were trying to do. I didn't realize what was going on.
Yes. Thank you very much.
To make 2 points, I'll begin by making a comment about Mr. Critic's post. And I'm sad to see that we are uninformed or we don't check our facts in Guyana. The amount of comments came on that post so negative. It tells you what's going on in this country.
You don't read. People don't read.
One of the things I'm looking at is that we don't check anything anybody say we gone with.
Oh, yeah.
And looking at to the points I would like to make, one of them is you.
Joshua Van Slyke will be hired as Kaieteur News editor-in-chief sometime.
That's good. One of the things I'm looking
My
at...
My keyword was sometime.
Yeah, I know, but the UG situation, when COVID-19 started, they decided to do some online classes, and they asked students if they want to drop some classes through this term here, because they can't do all online. Nothing wrong with that, I understood that. I'm saying this because I help a few students with their studies. I don't know much, but I help them. And the problem is they drop some classes, and some of them are on scholarship. And you can't get your grade point average that's where it's supposed to be if you drop classes, and yet they're being called and asked how come the grade point average is not up. These people know what's going on, and somebody, the minister needs to look into this. Secondly, given the fact of these people are high-profile people, I believe that the police need to give some statements. A simple thing put up on Facebook saying Mr. Critic is the editor-in-chief, people run with it wild. You need to talk to the people and say, we have information why we send in for Val Lawrence and everything. Don't let other people fuel it and say it's a race thing, it's a hunt. Let the public relations officers from time to time speak.
No, but I don't understand. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to see what I could think. I mean, the police are doing the investigation. I called Riaz to come to the police station. I have to issue a statement to say that I'm calling Riaz to come to the station.
It's not Riaz you're calling to the station. This is the head for the PNC you're calling to the station. This is the former chief. It's public figures. And then there are people who are fueling this situation.
Right.
And saying it. So the police, in essence, they don't have to give out much information. But the public relations officer, I think it's Mr. Junior, should give a statement instead of allowing people to run it. If you see what's going on Facebook with it, and people are turning this thing upside down. I do not know what is the reason they're being called in. I know there were some things went wrong in the elections. I don't know who did what and who didn't do what. But somebody needs to clear it up properly, so at least Guyanese seems to be so foolish right now. Sorry, I'm one of the Guyanese, and I'm telling you, we seem to be foolish. Mr. Critter gets term editor-in-chief, and if you hear things, sorry to stop the That's how foolish we are as a nation. So before these things get fueled, we need to look at that. Finally, I do not know what will happen tomorrow, but I can say, based on, I didn't vote for the PPP, based on power, and I can say this without people thinking I'm a PPP. They have been doing a better job than they ever did before. They are working every day, and we kudos to that. And the small parties that people are talking about, if I support Mr. Riaz on a comment, it doesn't mean we friend and I like him. I agree because he was right. And if the small parties are supporting certain things because it's right, what's wrong with that? Because you're small, you got to shut him out and say it's wrong.
Man, and you're so right on that.
Yeah.
I like that.
The thing is,
let's make comments off here, brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The thing is, right, about I've heard so much about the small parties. We've called for inclusiveness. We've called for shared governance, maybe an extreme word, or let's say shared governance and inclusiveness. So if you now reach out to the small parties and give them positions in various portfolios, like let's say chairman of this company or a board or advisor, we were all calling for that. And so now you criticize me for accepting the post. I kind of find it a bit strange. And why I go that length, we've heard the opposition leader calling for talks with the president, which I welcome. I may not like what happened 5 months ago. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Follow my social media. I'll tell you, red is red, green is green, black is black, white is white. I ain't gonna tell you, well, man, the red look little light red or pale green. My point is, I'll call a spade a spade. So when you did wrong, you did wrong. Don't come and tell me 2 and 2 is 22 and 2 plus 2 is 4. Point as it is, you ask for inclusiveness. So the small parties were calling on that. So some of them were given, which I know of this publicly, were given position on various boards or advisors and these things like that. You'd call for that. But the opposition said that they're not recognizing the government. And now you call for working together. Your first step is to recognize the government before we could work and have a relationship. It's like if Leonard said, well, don't come and share different views on this program. Then why am I coming on the program for at the end of the day?
Right.
I share my views. I'm not breaking protocols as to station policies or whatever it is. But you can't want to be at one level, belittle me, and then it's like if I go out to the here and tell him, hey, by Leonard talking nonsense, y'all don't listen to the man. And then about 2:20, I can come on and have a conversation with you.
It is.
So that's where I see the opposition to the government. So you talk the government, but then you say, man, let we talk. No, it's not going to work like that.
Thank you very much for that. So the Wake Up Guyana show here. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and we're joined in the studio here with W.I. Riaz. You have Raj at the studio. Raj, I've been working with you so long, I don't even know your last name. What's your last name? What's your last name? What's the name? Achari. He's Raj Achari. It's like Achar, like Achar? Achari. I hope I'm doing you justice there, man. And he says yes. So it is the Wake Up Guyana show. We are going to have some other callers in the moment. But let me tell you this. We have persons tuned in to this Wake Up Guyana show here all the way from Brazil. I want to say good day to Sharon Aziz de Souza. We have folks down in Norway, Canada, right across the U.S. We have New Jersey and so on. I want to say all welcome to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio, and wherever you're joining us from. I want to say thank you very much, and I want to say if you're ailing today, get up, do something. I hope that you feel better. If it's your birthday, I want to say happy birthday. I think it's the mayor's birthday. Your brother's Ryan today. A good day to you, sir, and I hope that you have a very splendid day. And so wherever you are, Mr. Glenlal, how are you doing, sir? I haven't seen you for a little while. It's been a couple hours. I think I did see you yesterday.
Good afternoon to the editor-in-chief.
And good afternoon to the so-called editor-in-chief. He's not the editor-in-chief. I think they're making jokes. It was satire all the way. They said, according to the Facebook
according to them, I say on Facebook.
Yes, and they said, we have good sources. This is a staff was saying this of Kaieteur News. We have it from good sources. These boys are wicked. These girls are wicked too, We have it from good sources that the critic who believes that he could give the unvarnished truth is the new editor-in-chief, and he's going to be the boss of Gildarie. So everybody bought this thing. Like I had good fun this morning. People call, so I had some calls, some ministry people. I said, is it true? I said, what are you talking about? Oh, that. I said, you guys got to read, man. You guys got to understand what is the truth. But it's a good laugh for the day. So there's another call online. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Yes, good afternoon, caller.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon. How are you? And good afternoon to Mr. Reyes.
Good afternoon to you. We're good. We're good.
Okay, I'm a senior citizen.
Yes.
And I thought that these squibs was Band-Aid.
Oh?
The squibs.
Yes.
With the bombs. Now these youths come at whole day, and then in the evening, a whole set of them riding and throwing it in your yard. You can't sleep.
Where is that? Which area is that?
Huh?
Which area is that?
La Penitence.
Oh my.
And when you call the police station, they say, yes, we going to send the police on patrol. And I saw the police, saw them pass by my gate and then say nothing. I wanted the Minister of Security to ban this thing. If they want to do it very far. This thing going off like if it's a gun, you're jumping out your bed. It's COVID. This is not sport time. And another thing, sir, is that they don't have masks. It's a whole crowd of them.
Madness.
Even when you lock up 1 o'clock, you boom, boom, you want to know if it's gun firing off. I need an ethic relation officer that was on your program just now. I listened. I need him to investigate this matter as well as...
I'm not sure. There's a police matter. I'm not sure whether are they targeting you because you believe that, or it's something else?
Huh?
Are they targeting you there because of that? That's a police matter.
No, they're just going everywhere out and doing it.
That's madness.
And it's every day, sometimes from morning till night.
You got a lot of money to be firing off squibs. You got this money. There's like lighting money fire. Wow.
Yeah, this thing needs to be banned. I know when the PPP was in government before now, they had banned it.
Yeah.
The police are... I heard my dad is very vocal on this point. The police are guilty of selective enforcement, and he's been very very vocal on that, and I that's the sad thing about it. I'm concerned about the citizen that is calling with us right now. That's an interesting one.
The police need to come out and stop these youths. This is not
call the commander at the Breakdown Police Station. I don't have his number right now. If you get a blue pages with a book, the telephone directory, you check on the Ministry of Home Affairs and call the commander and make a complaint so that you talk to Kaieteur Radio.
Yeah, because they could burn down your property.
Absolutely, dear. So thank you very much, senior citizen. You sound very young, I must tell you that.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day, both of you.
You too. Thank you very much. And there is a viewer listener here, all the way from Suriname, our next door neighbor to the east there. And I'm going to try to pronounce this. So if I sound like a cuss word, forgive me. I don't speak that Dutch very well. Jim Udik in strict. Okay, I stopped right there. I'm not gonna. It's some kind of funny. It sounds German as well as things. So, Jim, thank you very much for joining us there from Suriname, and I hope that you're getting us very
let me
clear.
call on this one. Alice, let me say this as it is before I go this. If you see Leonard, he is about 3-4 feet away from me. That's why he doesn't have a mask on, and I'm there. Whilst I'm doing the program again, my select is way behind me. The two of us are in the studio. My point behind all of this, I also see Mr. Hussein, my dad, saying that the vendors at Fogarty's pavement wearing mask the correct way. None of the vendors on Fogarty's pavement are wearing the mask the correct way. We have to, especially when you're in public. When I leave and I go to public, I will be wearing it. I go out in public, I will. We have to do this because we've seen the numbers rise. We want to have a bright Christmas, or we want to have a less COVID free. It's not going away for Christmas. Let me don't hide our.
No. We had it into a half year more, and so.
But if you want to have a slightly more balanced Christmas, this is the time that we have to do it. So Guyanese, play your part. Wear that mask correctly.
Thank you very much, dear WR Riaz. I want to say good day to Mr. Nazim S. Hussein. I think that's a dad. And he is as young as Riaz. I've always seen him growing up as a little boy, looking at television there. A very popular television personality. Has been around for a very long time. Very experienced there. Good day to you, Mr. Nazim. And I think it's been a little while since we talked. And we're here at WR Riaz, and we've decided to tag team against Raj on a daily basis, but he is a very tough
Raj
character.
with his biryani rice yesterday
yes,
too.
Yes,
Remember
and he
Raj
cooked that. So we're
rice
holding it against him. So thank you very much there. This has been a wrap. As usual, we have been discussing a couple of things, and if you've missed it, it is that there are more charges against Keith Lowenfield of the Guyana Elections Commission. He was told to turn up today. Tomorrow is where the PNCs are. Chairperson and former Minister of Health, Paula Lawrence, is supposed to be turned up at the CID headquarters.
Wasn't she supposed to be turning up at 10 today?
Yes, but they said tomorrow. Today, Keith Lowenfield turned up. I think they would have taken him across to the courts there. More charges for him. So this thing is getting serious. I'm not sure it's heating up there. Many persons who are believing that nothing was done. The police are doing a criminal investigation. And so let us see what happened. Was there fraud? These are fraud issues. And of course, it goes beyond that. Public office, misbehavior in public office. And so in other countries, what would those charges have been? So maybe sometime or the other, we are going to talk about that. But this come down to program time here. It is the Wake Up Guyana show. We would have been coming to you live on 99.1 and 99.5 up in Berbice if you want to get us. And of course on Kaieteur Radio Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream here on YouTube. I understand some persons were getting some issues with YouTube. I think, I'm not sure why you were getting that, but we seem to be all right here. So take care, folks. I want you to remain safe. We love you a lot wherever you've been joining us from. We don't want to see anything happen to you because you're part of the Guyanese family. We all Guyanese, we're very proud of this country. We're very harsh on our government and the other opposition and whoever else it is that's going to be there because we demand much more. We want a better Guyana. And there's nothing wrong with us demanding. There's nothing wrong with us asking. There's nothing wrong with us quarreling to make sure that our people deliver and deliver in a very strong way, in a very decisive way, what our people have been demanding. So thank you very much. Have a pleasant rest of the day. We are going to be back tomorrow. Again, like I said before, I really got to love you people and love everybody in the studio here. I'm on vacation. But I can't stay away. They said if you stay away, that means they would have to put the program down for a couple of days. And I'm not sure. For the last week, I think I'd have to do that. I've been doing my medical checks, and so I'm going to update you about what has happened in there. But the eyes are getting weaker and weaker, and then eventually I'm going to have to do something really serious about it. If it is that I do that, I'd have to be off for a couple of months. I'd have to block off the eyes. It's an actual operation with the retina of the eyes. It's getting really weak. So thank you very much to you folks, wherever you are. Have a pleasant rest of the day. Stay safe. If you're in mourning, if you're celebrating your birthday, be strong, be safe. I can't say it enough. And a good day to our president and the opposition leader and the rest of their teams. Until then.